slide.
Do you know where the afters is?
Always. Okay.
We're rolling.
Wait.
Here we go. Tenzing.
I should put that down.
Yeah. I got it all. There we go.
Lined up.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, we didn't even get him pouring the Tenzing in the cup. That would have been.
Yeah, go on, pour it in now. So
go a bit-
yeah. So it's like this just.
We'll do a zoom in.
Oh, Tenzing.
Oh, there's a fucking thing in the way. It doesn't matter. We tried.
He was pouring it in. Cool.
Right, we're here. What, Zach? Welcome to the afters.
Thank you.
Welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
How are you? You good?
Nervous.
Bit nervous.
A bit nervous.
It's alright. It's just us two.
Right, yeah.
Generally in front of cameras, a bit nervous, but really good. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we know who you are. I obviously only met you in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
but we know who you are.
Yeah.
But for those at home who don't, who the fuck are you?
My name is Zach, and I am an event manager. I'm a stage manager. I'm a booking agent. I'm a venue manager. And with regards to the industry, yeah, I think that's it.
He's a man of all trades.
I'm a man of all trades. and
Yeah,
master
man.
of none at the minute.
Love that. So let's go back to the start, Zach.
Yeah.
You know, this is what everyone wants to hear.
Yeah.
How did you arrive in the music industry? Like, you know, where did it start, and what was the pivotal moment for you?
And you mean just getting introduced to the
Yeah,
music
just
industry
you know,
or
yeah,
working
just
within the
let's go back to you, like your first job in the industry.
First
Just
job.
pull
in the
that
industry.
little bit to your face.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice one.
First job in the industry came from 93 Feet East,
Okay,
which is not a bad place to start your
not at
career.
all, mate. Not
I
at all.
love that venue.
Actually came at a very interesting time in my life where I made a transition from the dance floor.
Yeah.
Actually got myself into a little bit of trouble from being on the dance floor.
Okay.
Turned into a social supplier, which didn't go very, very well. Something I haven't shared with anyone. But,
Okay.
and then, yeah, there was a moment when 93 Feet East, you remember the period where it closed down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure everyone's seen that video on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
It closed down, and funny enough, that week, me and Reese Laidlaw
Yeah.
were actually wanting to go that weekend to the 93 Feet East for the first time ever, and it shut down. So we never got to experience
okay.
it.
No way.
And then it reopened,
Mhm.
and the owner refused, Tony, my
Yeah.
mentor, and Daniele, my business partner now.
Yeah.
They were the creative directors and the bookers. So I started going every single weekend. I was like, oh, this is feeling good, you know. I knew everybody from the dance floor. Never really, I was always on the Fuse dance floor as well. Never got to meet Tony before.
Yeah.
And yeah, just week after week, I think they recognized I kept coming, you know. And then a conversation was struck. Can you help us build a community here? And I was like, yeah, why not? I come every time anyway. So funny enough, after that conversation, I made a very ballsy decision to quit my job.
Just like that on the spot.
I mean, it felt right. It felt
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
and I said
yeah.
to my girlfriend and my mum at the time, I said, look, you might have to support me for the next few months, but I can feel something. Something's coming from this. You know, the energy's good. The conversation was great. And I love the venue as well.
And how old were you when you did that then? When you made that decision?
25,
Okay.
26, 25, 26. I'm an electrician by trade as well, by the way.
Okay.
And were you doing that then until that point?
I was doing that then until
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point, exactly. So I made a decision to quit my job.
Bold.
Yeah,
very bold.
Very
I
bold.
started going to the venue every single week. I also started going into the venue for free. Not for free. No one asked me to come in, but I was just going into the office with my laptop open on the sofa. I was just being that guy on the sofa doing nothing, but also open to do anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tony and the guys, they appreciated that as well. And I feel like, especially when you're starting off in this industry, I think what people look for is that hunger
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
above anything.
Yeah.
I have no qualifications at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I had none at the time. And I kind of just learned on the job. One day, kept going. I'll never forget. I had not a single penny to my name. And I was in the car park of 93 Feet East, funny enough. And I got a phone call from Tony. At that exact moment, for the first time, I questioned what I was doing. Literally 2 minutes
No
before, I
way.
was like, am I making the right decisions here? Like, I've made a bold move. I've quit my job. I've asked for support, etc. That's all been gifted to me. It's been amazing. But is this all really worth it? And then 2 seconds later, I got a phone call. Can you come to the office, please? I was like,
Fate.
it felt great. I went up there and sat me down, and they said, we're going to start a new in-house weekly event. We want you to be project manager. And I was like, nearly crying. I was like, this is amazing. It's everything I've asked for. It's everything I work towards. It's all coming into light, you know. We're going to put you on a salary. I just said yes anyway. Bearing in mind, never wrote email in my life, never used a spreadsheet in my life, and all of a sudden I was the booker, the marketing, the project manager of the marketing team, the DJs, everything, and I had to just learn and fuck up on the job basically.
Yeah, mate.
But from then on, went from there, made a lot of mistakes, also learned a lot. And then just within that role in the thing, I just made myself, you know, active, and there was no from me. It was like, can you do this? Yes. Can you do this? Yes. Before I knew it, I was putting up the production by myself in the rain, you know. I was just going at it and just fucking giving everything that I possibly had at the time with this opportunity. And then one thing led from another with that relationship. You know, they offered me an opportunity with Fuse, which again, I'm so grateful for.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest brands in the world in our industry, essentially.
Yeah, cool.
And even just starting off being artist liaison, stage manager, and then the role kind of grew. It's still in that area now, you know. One, just because I'm busy in other places, but my loyalty is always with Fuse and Tony and Enzo and the guys, because they gave me an opportunity of a lifetime that not many people would be able to get.
Absolutely. I've got a funny story about 93 Feet East and Fuse.
I can kind of guess what's going to be involved. Here we go.
I just remembered then when I was younger.
Yeah.
I lived in Southend, and I used to have when I had hair, I had this
ages ago.
Yeah. That's why he's wearing the scarf.
Yeah. Not this topic again. And I had the swift back hair, and me and my brother and mates were like, we're going to go down to Fuse at 93 Feet East. Yeah. So I rocked up, a pair of fake Ray-Bans on, my hair swift back up, and a polo shirt. And guess what happened?
Turn away.
I didn't get fucking in, did I?
Really?
Yeah.
Funny enough, I used to get turned away from Fuse.
Yeah.
It was like it was brilliant, because there was a moment of time. Obviously, when you're a new kid and on the
course.
rave scene, and
Yeah.
know, you're like you're getting about, and then I got turned away by probably the best door host in the world, Teresa.
Yeah, of course.
I love her now.
Yeah.
We've got a beautiful relationship. She turned me away a couple of times, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I wearing? Who am I with? And then I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn up with the most popular kid in Fuse.
Yeah.
She can't say no.
And
then that's it. I did it.
And you were there for,
Started getting
am I right in saying you were there for about 4 years?
Is that 93?
Yeah, 93.
Yeah, like 4.5 years. And then the whole team changed, and we decided to all... it came to a beautiful end. It came to an end where there was not much more we could do. But again, so appreciative and grateful for that opportunity with 93 for East.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learned a lot, and I feel like working there at the start of my career has allowed me to now go to other places, and it's a lot easier. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was
it? One thing that resonated with me quite a lot there was the fact that you said, you said you were really appreciative of the opportunity, which obviously is true, but you put the graft in because you also made all those mistakes, and you said it straight afterward. You said, I made a lot of mistakes, I also learned a lot.
Yeah,
but you learn from the mistakes, and if you're not making the
mistakes,
mistakes, you're not learning anything.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
So
I believe every lesson is a test, and it's only there to strengthen you.
Yeah, and there's something similar as well that a lot of people have been saying about, that first journey in the industry is about just turning up, being there, being seen, being a part of it, and then getting picked up
I
from
used
there.
to turn up on a Monday in 93 for East on a rollover, sweating my ass off. And my boss, Tony, he didn't mind it, because he said at the end of the day, this is this is why you're here. The networker, you go out. I want you to be after partying, essentially. But if you're going to turn up to work on a Monday, actually show up. He sent me home a couple of times.
Okay.
But yeah.
What was your best memory in terms of an event at 93 Feet East?
I would have to say I actually know. Infuse. I will go into this part of the story as well. Obviously with the agency and working closely with Laidlaw for many years.
Top bloke, Reese.
Probably my best memory was him playing at Infuse for the first time ever. Bearing in mind starting the journey together, then going into managing 93 for East together. He's actually also a graphic designer. So his job role in the office was a graphic designer, whilst I was a project manager. And then slowly, eventually, him playing for Infuse, and then being in that 93 Feet East, in that dance floor, in that booth, me managing it, him working for the 93.
It's like iconic.
And now also him playing for the Dream brand, for one of the biggest brands in the world.
Absolutely.
That was a moment where I had tears. Yeah, that's probably my favorite, apart from my first shift at 93 Feet East.
Yeah.
And that came from me just being in the office one weekend, and Tony turned around to me and been like, "What are you doing this weekend?" It was actually my girlfriend's birthday. I was like, "No, nothing." I told her this, but I just said, "No, nothing. I've got no plans whatsoever." And he just randomly was like, "Do you want to manage a club for me?" I was like, fuck, yeah, fuck it, why not? Got no plans.
Yeah.
And it was a Stump after party. Remember Stump?
Yeah, I remember Stump. Yeah.
Wicked party.
Yeah.
More to the minimal side, but
absolutely.
fucking amazing party.
Yeah.
Big up Thierry for that one.
Yeah.
And it was that. It was an after party, so it was a big. It was quite a big. It was sold out. After party crowd can be a little bit temperamental. You know how it is.
That's such a nice word to use for after party crowd. Temperament. That is not a word I would use. I always just say it's the fucking freak. It's the freaks that are left that want to crack on. I was one of them. Hands up, I was there. I was a freak.
I'm still one of them. So.
Okay, cool. So, like, how has that led on to where you are now, especially with the agency?
So, the agency actually started in the 93 for East office with my best friend in my business partner, Daniele.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be where I am without that guy, to be honest with you. And also Reese being there, funny enough, Laidlaw. He had a random request coming from Morocco one day. And he was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, well, can you help me, guys? We helped him. We got a fee. We was fucking jumping up and down in the office like, yes. Not even much. And then me and Daniele at the time were just like, I'm kind of like in talks with these artists, guiding them essentially. And he was in talks with like your Caseys and your Cocos, and as they were younger coming up. It's like, fuck it, let's just start an agency. And that's where we started the agency in the 93 for East office, actually.
And when was that? When did you start that?
4 years ago.
Right, okay.
About 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. So that's my agency, mine, Daniele and Reese's agency, actually.
So it was an organic, it was kind of an organic,
super organic
project.
And just off the cuff was like, Morocco gig, agency. And we just kind of done it, and we just kind of learned, and we're still learning, of course, every single day. But yeah, we just grabbed it by the bollocks and kind of ran with it. And now we've created a beautiful roster, predominantly of young talent. It doesn't mean they all have to be young, but I mean, it's kind of, I'm really enjoying the grassroots element and factor of our agency, and working and having the beauty of Beeyou Records as a brand that is working very closely with FDTN. It's a place where we also find talent from the music side of things. Laidlaw and Just Jam, the owners of it, they're very good at finding new talent and working with new talent and guiding them through Beeyou Records, which then also kind of passes over to FDTN.
That's such a nice
when they're ready, you know,
synergy. You've got the two, because they tend to be separate entities completely. When I was an artist, they didn't really connect. Where you've kind of got the whole thing from the label right through to the agency, everything in one sort of ecosystem.
It is an ecosystem essentially that the boys created, and I've been lucky enough to be brought on board, especially with Beeyou now. I help organise and curate the events, which is a role that's also growing. We've got a massive year ahead of us this year, 2024. And that's it with that.
Cool. So going back to like when you first started in the industry to like now, how has your perception changed of everything?
Well, from when you start, I mean, all you see is a dance floor and people dancing and lifting their hands up and partying and taking drugs and drinking. It's all fun and games, you know. It's amazing. It's a beautiful part of that journey. I think it's, for me, the most valuable experience I had was the dance floor.
And how old were you when you had that first real...
Solid Grooves, 18 years old.
Really?
It's Brixton Rooftop, actually.
That's it.
Wow.
Big up Michael Beebe and Marwan.
Come along.
I was listening to Swedish House Mafia before. I was travelling around following Swedish House Mafia. My perception on it, I mean, you tend to, once you get into it and start working in and amongst it, it's a very cutthroat industry. And I do believe that us as a new generation, I say new generation, but my generation and the ones coming, I hope we can change it a little bit. More so like, even as an agent, as a new agent, essentially, it can be quite cutthroat. Is probably the best word to use for it.
I spoke to I spoke to a manager who I used to know, and I haven't spoken to in a little while, and we had a conversation just earlier today about the state of the market in terms of bookings and how club promoters are kind of swaying towards artists who have potentially got a bigger following as opposed to the level of the artist or the quality of the productions or whatever. And it's to the point where artists that he was managing have decided to drop him because they weren't getting, like, the older artists aren't getting as many shows, and they want to keep that 20%.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of this because obviously I'm out the loop now. We're out the loop, so we don't really see this.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see that you can see it if you look online. You can see the clubs are booking these artists who have got 200,000 followers, might only have like 2 tracks out. They aren't really that good. Over the artist who's been around for 15 years, who's got the accolades, list of accolades, but just can't sell the tickets. And it's what sells tickets at the end of the day, isn't it? So it's
Bums on
tough.
seats.
Bums on seats, people through the door.
It is
difficult.
It is
I mean,
difficult.
do you feel you've seen that change, especially with the social media, even like in the time that you've been in the industry?
Yeah, I do believe that, so. And this TikTok craze right now, which again, if you're an artist right now, you have to kind of
you got to play the game, yeah.
Got to play the game,
You're
guys,
right,
man. I
man.
said it
Otherwise you get left behind.
There's the thing, not everyone's comfortable behind the camera.
Yeah.
Not everyone's comfortable with social media, but the ones who are, you can see, you can see it. You can see the trajectory of their career. You can see how quick things are happening. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me. Also, looking at, for example, a big one I say is like Tristan da Cunha, for example. 25 years later, he's the busiest he's ever been.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
He's one of my favorite DJs right now. He's one of the most entertaining music, just constantly. It just goes off every single time.
Yeah, of course.
But his journey, his story, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but as an artist, I know he's been around for a very, very, very long time. And he's had his highs and his lows, but he just stuck to his guns. He stuck to his music, he stuck to what he believes in. And now, 25 years later or whatever, he's now, still just getting started, essentially.
Yeah.
I used to see Tristan in Leeds.
I
used to go to uni 2012, 13, and Tristan da Cunha, Brother, all those guys.
Rude boys.
And it seems like they've come. It seems like he's come full circle. Stuck to his guns, not swayed, not started to go with the kind of template track to kind of get traction, and now he's back around. I didn't know that. That's amazing to hear.
Ballsy that as well, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's very especially in this day and age.
Yeah, even for me, that short space of time that I was in, I was, I was always trying to fucking sway left and right. Sometimes,
From what I know, he stuck to his guns. It's paid off, massively paid off for him.
Fair play.
Yeah.
So in terms going back, when we met in Amsterdam,
yes,
obviously you've got a special place in your heart for Amsterdam, right?
I do. Yes. I was going from Fuse and 93 for East and doing my job. I believe so, doing it well. Opened more doors. So I currently also travel around the world helping manage festivals, your Dimensions, your Houghtons, your BPMs, Costa Ricas, and just getting myself about, to be honest with you. And if that's one thing I can say to anyone, especially when you want to get in this industry, if you're good with people, artist liaison and stage management, if you're trying to get your foot in the door, is great. Especially for me, my kind of my formula was, if I stage manage enough events, if I work at enough venues, I'm going to meet all these artists. Not only that, I'm going to meet the agents, I'm going to meet the managers, I'm going to meet the promoters. And also, so my main goal was to essentially provide opportunities for my roster. That is my kind of formula. Yeah. So if I get about in front of the right people at the right time, I create a relationship. An organic one. It's not just for gigs or anything like that, but it's something that I know if I'm in front of the right people, I can build a relationship and just work from that. And it's worked essentially. So I got to a stage when 93 for East was having a switch up with the team. I was just like, fuck it, I want to try something different. Maybe a different country or something like that. Obviously, Brexit just came along, which kind of slapped me in the face.
A lot of people.
For everyone.
Fuckers.
And I expressed my feelings to one of my friends, Onome. She was the creative director of the program at Shelter at the time in Amsterdam. And she was just like, if you want to come over here, just let me know and I'll hire you straight away. So now my current situation, I go there once a month to manage the club.
Shelter,
which is for me, aesthetically, sound-wise, things that I look for in a club, it's got everything there for me. And it was one of the reasons why I chose that club when I moved over there. So yeah, that's just an ongoing relationship, which again is just another thing to add to the CV, which is great.
Of course.
And yeah, just thoroughly enjoying Amsterdam's a beautiful city as well.
Yeah.
A little bit too small for me, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just like AD, we talked about this a few times, but Shelter, that was the first time I think I've been out to an event since I left the industry.
Trying to force alcohol down your throat.
Did it work?
No.
I was going to say, I'm sure you
don't want to drink.
But that was the first time I'd actually managed to go out and not drink, like, you know, since I started my journey, and that was my first time at Shelter as well, and what an amazing place it is as well.
Yeah, it's most important thing for me at any event is the sound.
Yeah,
obviously the team around it, but the sound is fundamental. And that's one thing. Shelter's been built to be a club, and that's it. Yeah, which I think you can. The minute you step in there, you can see it, you can hear it, and it sounds fucking great. The function one in there is amazing. Really good. Yeah, have you got any other strong connections with parties and brands over in Amsterdam? A strong connect. Actually, yeah. One of the main reasons why I went to Amsterdam was because of No Art. Actually, No Art. Ah, yeah. Okay. Again, very random, just putting myself out there. They announced they were doing a UK show, and I messaged their UK partner and was like, "Who's managing the event for you?" And his response was you. So it wasn't an overall management of the event. I just did stage management for the main stage. And the No Art crew loved what I did. So they started flying me out to Amsterdam to help manage their events as well. Amazing. Yeah. So then before I knew it, they flew me out to ADE, which was great. Again, this all just came from an Instagram post. Me just being proactive and being like, fucking get in there straight away before any other one else. Otherwise, just going to hire someone else. Yeah, of course. And I know that I do what I do very well, so might as well just hire me. That was kind of my outlook on it, and it worked. So from then, just going to Amsterdam through No Art, essentially. Them boys have smacked it. They're an inspiration for me, and I think every promoter right now should be. Yeah. They should be one of the promoters that people are looking at. Yeah. Because the level of production, the team they have is incredible. The way they work together. Yeah. You've got the artist, another, of course, a huge part of the brand, but then you have the back end, the production guy, the booker, the financial guy, everything. And it's just a solid foundation, solid team. But I think that's what a lot of people don't see. Yeah. Everything else that goes into a brand like that as well. Do you know what I mean? You don't. And all people see is 10,000 people there, but they don't know what sweat, blood, tears have gone into that. So that's a brand that is close to my heart in that sense. But obviously then you've got your Slap Funks, the OGs, and the VBX crews. If there's a dance for that, I'm going to be honest. Amsterdam's just got so many sick sounds, man. It's just what the guys created with Slap Funk is phenomenal. Yeah, the vibe, Jorg and Sylvester and Julian and the guys and Ono. Big up to them guys. One of the best dance floors in the world, if you ask me. Yeah, especially at AD on a Monday. Yeah. That's the one dance where the phone goes off. Yeah, and that is the best after party. Is it? Period. Yeah. I've ever been to in my life. Samuel Deep's got to be the fastest DJ out there. Have you seen like his marathon time? Yeah, bro. Have you seen his marathon time? You mean how quick he plays? Nah, mate. He's doing he's running like a 2:20 marathon. Fuck off. Mate. Yeah, he came like 80th out of 16,000 people. He's rapid, bro. I thought you meant the BPM and he's DJing. No. Am I missing something here? I was where have I been? How quickly he's bringing the tracks in. Yeah. It was the quickest mix ever. Right, okay, I'm with you now. Yeah, sorry, I'm just playing catch up. Yeah, he's rapid, man. He's running like 100k races, like ultra races as well, like at like 650 pace or something. I don't know if I butchered that, but I see like me and Lee were checking him out. Some of the pace, he's doing like 180 kilometer fucking walk run / crazy, mate. Super athlete, which is amazing. It's inspiring as well. Yeah, proper. Man. Goes to show the limits that you can. Well, not only that, but just like obviously now marathon training, like how many miles you actually have to do. Like on a weekly basis to be able to even run a fucking 100k, do you know what I mean? Let alone run a 2:20 marathon. So to fit that in around everything else that he's got going on is pretty fucking incredible, man. It's inspiring. It's inspiring. It's very, very inspiring. Coming back to that though, talking about it being inspiring, mate. We've only sat down for half an hour here, and I'm seeing a pattern, and you're quite humble in the way you say it. But every single step of this journey that you spoke about. You've put yourself out there. You've gone. We went to 93 Feet East. And you sat in there and you worked for free, and you got that call. And then you got asked to do the few stuff and all that. And then the No Art
job that you got to manage the production there. You've gone out and been proactive.
Of course.
And we've spoke to other artists we've had on here. We've spoke to them, and they've said the best thing you can do as an artist is be present. Go to the clubs, be in the booth, meet the promoters, be a punter and just be around it. You don't have to be getting paid. No, just be around it.
And I find this is one of the big problems, especially in this day and age. People want to be paid for everything, and
from the off,
and they don't want it.
They don't want to put in the work.
They don't want to put in the work. At the end of the day, like I said, I had no experience. I just had the hunger, and I just fucking really wanted to be involved. And you have to be willing to work for free.
Yeah,
you have to, because you have to prove yourself. There's 10 people who've been doing it for 10 years, but you've been not doing fuck all, and you want the job. What are you going to do? You know, they're not going to give you the job essentially over 10 people who've had multiple years of experience. So the only way to do it is by offering your services and just letting people know, you know, like, this is what I want to do, you know, be assertive with it as well. Yeah. You know, you've got to be very direct with your approach, I feel, but also stay humble, like you said, you know.
You can tell that with the way you're coming across. You haven't picked yourself up once. You've just said, I've been proactive. I put it out there. I had the conversation. I reached out. It's all very proactive behavior. Yeah. And that, obviously, repetition, it kind of, it's a numbers game.
Of course it is.
You know?
100%.
Yeah. Do you feel now, like, if you come back, like, how the scene has changed, do you know what I mean? Because obviously there has been changes in there, especially with social media and stuff like that. Do you feel if you come back in now, you'd still be able to have the same organic flow that you did, or do you think people coming in now would maybe have to change it up a little bit in terms of their approach?
No. From my perspective, as someone who works in the industry, not an artist, no. I think it's a pretty simple formula. I believe. I don't think it's not actually rocket science either.
Fucking hard work, innit?
Just work your graft.
Graft.
Just be a grafter and be willing to do everything and anything you need to do to get to where you need to, within respect, within your boundaries, without pissing anyone off. Have no enemies in this fucking industry. Is one thing one bit of advice, because it can get very political very quickly. Very quickly.
There's one thing I used to say to people all the time, and I get interviews when I was an artist, and they go, have you got any advice? And I'd just say, be fucking sound.
Yeah,
I'd say that.
Good guy, just be a good
sound.
person.
It's so easy to be sound. Yeah. Just be sound. You don't need to have aggro. You don't need to have arguments with people. If you're sound, it really, people remember that.
I wish someone would give me that advice. Fucking could have done with that, bro.
Some people must have liked you.
No, it's just cocaine and ego, mate. That's what it was, isn't it? You know what I mean?
You got to have that ego, Dave.
Yeah, man. Fucked me up, but we talked about that enough now.
We did. We just spoke about it before we come here.
My mum knows now. So what does the future hold for you then?
So future-wise, like, the agency is my baby, our baby, me and my team. It's growing, which is beautiful. Getting to a time now where it's got to keep going and keep. You know, you get to that stage where you grow. You get to a point where it's getting busier, more attention on you. Now you have to continue that. That snowball effect, because as an agency, as any business, if you don't maintain that snowball, it can go wrong essentially, or start to fizzle out, whatever. So we're in the process of hiring new staff, which is amazing. Building the team, man. Making roles more permanent, more full time, because it's been part time. We didn't fucking pay ourselves for 3.5 years, you know.
Yeah, of course.
We just responded to emails and spoke to people and built relationships year after year after year, until a point where we was lucky enough to start giving ourselves something, not a lot, but enough to keep us ticking, you know. So as an agency, just continue to look for new artists, new talent, grow the talent we have, which is also the most beautiful part of the process for me. Is nurturing and guiding and having been in relationships that there's not much pressure at the time as well, which I find with the young artists, which is also quite cool and fun. When you have it, when it's full time, it's game on or nothing essentially. Of course. When you have a young artist who's still studying or still like your Wadders, for example,
keen as well.
Keen as fuck, but also there's not much pressure, so it's like we can go with the flow here. We can put music out. We can take the right gigs. Don't have to take every gig. You know, we got a bit more control over it essentially.
So good that for the artists, because like, you know, like we were saying earlier, like, agencies now, they just want people who are going to come on and make money from the fucking get-go, innit? Exactly. And if not, then they've got a roster of like fucking 100 other people as well. So so as an up-and-coming artist, like, you know, what a great opportunity that is to be able to work with you know, somebody who's had as much experience in the industry as you, and same with Danielle as well,
Yeah.
like just coming in and being able to build that more naturally rather than having to, just try and fucking power through. So
Exactly. That's from an agency's perspective. From myself, event management, stage management wise, I've actually come to a point where I think I told you already. I went and done a personal training course.
yeah, yes, you did, mate.
Nearly finished.
Yeah,
Got some stuff to do at home, which I'm going to continue with in the next couple of months or so. Essentially, what I want to do is I feel like I've done my time stage managing. Don't take this literally, guys. Stage managing before I don't get hired anymore. Stage managing, event managing, and also like for me, I got to a stage for the first time where I was managing an event and I looked at my watch and I was like, "When's this over?" And that for me was like, okay, this is the moment. And I said to myself straight away, not immediately, but it's slowly. And I know I can give more. Yeah, So funny enough, wanting to step down the route with the agency on the as my main thing, but helping people. We already help people. We already have service to people generally day to day with the artists, but to be of service in more of a way where it's going to impact their life, health wise, fitness wise. Because what exercise done for me whilst working in this industry is changed my life. I mean, it's allowed me to maintain the kind of consistency that I've been doing. Yes, I go on benders. Yes, I party, but I also work very hard. So it's managing all of those elements of this industry and what this industry is about. But what exercise done for me, I would really like to. I do it already, but on a more professional tip and really impact people's lives, and especially artists in this industry, even people that work in this industry, just getting them into a routine. I think right now what you find is people see exercise as going to the gym. The gym is just a
small percentage,
tiny percentage of training, of exercise, and to think, what 1 hour of your day is 4% of your day or something like that. Like numbers wise, it'd be silly not to do some form of exercise. So would love to go on to be a coach of some sort. Again, something I'm working on. It's not happening right this second, but step away from having to be in the booth or in the venue for 12 hours.
You've done your time.
I've done my time. I feel like I've done my time. I've earned my stripes, but also networked my ass off. Yeah, of course. So now anything that I put that into, I believe will be a success. For sure. Success if I put the time and effort into it. Yeah, and I think that's something very close to our hearts now, is that obviously the exercise, and something that we probably can both agree, Jackie, that if we had got a hold of that whilst we was a part of the scene, then maybe we wouldn't have had to leave so abruptly. So I think it's a fantastic idea. Like, what do you do to look after your mental and physical health on a regular basis? Regular basis is, just be honest, it's just 40 minutes of exercise a day. That is my real basic day, like basic form of, working on my mental and physical health. Just recently, actually yesterday, started a new routine. Nice. Inspiration from yourself. Yeah. Waking up and meditating now in the mornings, stretching. Not for 10 minutes, maybe 5.
Still wants everyone to start, mate.
10 minutes. Maybe 5. Got me on 10 minutes.
It's got that video, man.
Yeah, with that awful music. Yeah. Fucking EDM. It's so bad. Oh, mute. Sorry, carry on.
I've actually got my partner on it as well. It's been nice. Meditating, stretching, jogging, going for a run in the morning. Yes. Running's always been in my life. I've had a very active, from the age of 7 to 16, I was training 6 times a day, so it's always been in me. I'm conditioned for it. Just really want to tap into the meditation side of things. I've done it, but it's just about being consistent with everything. Absolutely. It's about routine, and it's about showing up every single day. The whole waking up at 6 a.m. It's not that early, but it's still early for me, and it's like, just fucking get up. Just don't let that, don't press that snooze button, mate. Don't you dare press that snooze button, because if you do that, it's going to go horribly wrong. So past 2 days, it's only been 2 days, but I feel fucking great for it. And I'm going to try and maintain this for the foreseeable.
That's interesting that you've always been into your fitness, because from my perspective, and I know Sean, you actually did get into it because you were in the army.
I was in the military.
You were in the military, right? I never was in the army, right? And I never did exercise past the age of 19 when I just started going to Sankeys, right? So for you, you never struggled with that demanding because it is demanding on the body and demanding on the mind. So if you've been running all this time and looking after yourself afterwards and making sure you get the jog in or get the food in and stuff, then that's probably also what's giving you the extra energy to be proactive.
Agreed.
I would say that's definitely played a part for sure.
It all plays a part.
Yeah.
It all comes together. Every piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
It has to be locked in.
Yeah, I think as well, like what a lot of people don't see with fitness and exercise is it's actually the discipline that creates, and then you're able to take that over to other areas of your life. It's not just about I just have to go to the gym 4 times a week. It's like, well, that's a discipline that you're creating, and then you take that, and that's obviously shows with your work ethic that you've had to have 100%. To get to where you are because of like the discipline that's been built in. It's the same with me. Like, even though once I started my music career, I didn't do anything apart from fucking,
But you were disciplined.
Yeah, because I was already had that discipline from when I was in the military and stuff like that. So I think subconsciously that come into my career in terms of the work that I had to put in to get to where I was. And then I'm finding that again now with this new, venture that I've sort of gone into. So I do believe that. And I think that's definitely something that people need to think about when they're starting, this journey is like, well, think about the discipline that creates and where you'll be able to take that. So do you see a difference in terms of the generations of, like, obviously you work with a lot of up and coming artists, and then you obviously have worked with, a lot of the, top guys as well in the industry. Do you see a difference of how the young guys are coming up now in terms of how they're thinking about the mental and physical health?
I do, yes. I mean, it's not all the time. Sometimes what I find with a lot of the younger artists, it takes something like being out and getting a bit too fucked up whilst playing for them to be like, shit, actually, this is not a good idea. But it's good because you catch it. If you catch it at an early stage, which I find is more happening more with the younger generation, if you catch that at an early stage, I think, yes, I'm seeing a difference in how people are looking at their careers from younger. Maybe because they're around older people. And I feel like, obviously, for you guys, I'm sure you've noticed as well, a lot of the older generation now are actually kicking in and being like, hold on a second, fuck, this, I can't maintain this. And I don't know if that's just because I'm getting older, but I definitely feel there's been a switch in our industry of more health awareness, people being a little bit more tamer when they're out or when they're gigging consistently over some people doing fucking 10 gigs a week or something crazy like that. You can't physically maintain it unless you're doing some form of exercise, unless you're looking after yourself. But as for the new generation, I mean, I hope so. I really do. And again, I'm not here preaching saying don't do this, don't do that, but just look after yourselves, man. It's so fucking important. And 5 years down the line, you're going to really feel it. Yeah. And really look and observe and look at your career and be like, well, hold on, maybe if I... But don't get me wrong, getting off your nut every now and then can give you some beautiful contacts. Most of my relationships have been built up in a toilet cubicle. Yeah. Not like that, but like that.
Yeah, no. I get it. I get it. A lot of the friends, mate, we sat here because we're getting back to the DJ mag party. Do you know what I mean?
That's the realness of it. The industry, it doesn't need to be completely drug fueled, but a lot of the time these relationships do come from those interactions, and it's just the way it is. But yeah, I hope this new generation is going to really think about their health.
Yeah, I think it's more just about education. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, not everyone who does drugs ends up as with a problem or addiction, but those that do need to have either some support there or someone they can talk to, or just be a bit more educated from like the older generation. Say, look, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't necessarily going to happen, but if you do keep getting too fucked up all the time, potentially you're going to find yourself 10 years down the line with a problem. Do you know what I mean? So.
I think there's definitely been, not just speaking about our industry or our old industry, your current industry, but I think there's been a cultural shift in health and sobriety. Sobriety's cool now.
It's massive. It's very cool. That's a very good way to put it, actually.
People go out and they don't want to drink and they almost boast about it. I've been sober for a year. I did it, and I don't now, but if people do ask, I do say I don't drink nowhere near as much. I had a couple of blips. Actually, I saw you and I had my little trip up last year in November.
Jump sheds.
Yeah.
You actually gave me one of your drinks because you had 4.
Shut up, man. My mum's watching.
I was like, do you want that? What is it? Rum and coke. God, it was.
Yeah, what is it? Rum and coke. Yeah, go on. A pint of.
Yeah.
No, but there's definitely been a cultural shift in the last year, I think, or maybe even 2, where kids or younguns are coming out and they're not drinking, and it is cool now to be sober. So I hope that continues, and I think that will definitely have an effect on the clubber as well. I mean, the thing is, the industry is built upon drink and drugs. Let's be honest. The dance music industry is it's an empire built on not being sober. Yeah. So it's interesting to see how it will go in the future, but. Yeah, we'll see.
If everyone's sober, they'd have to end the party at like 1 o'clock.
And there'll be no parties.
Day parties only. Like 9:30 straight to the kebab shop. And what about away from music?
Yeah.
We spoke a lot about your career and you coming through the industry. What do you do for fun? You got any other hobbies apart from just grafting your fucking ass off?
Something I really want to tap back into recently. Just training is really my getaway, is my hobby. I play football occasionally. No, I mean, I would say I'm quite good. I'm still all right, which is just fun. But it's something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and it's something I definitely want to connect with again and tap into. It's just that little breakaway of alone time or with as a team. Team hobbies are great, but yeah. Just training at the minute, if I'm brutally honest. There's not much going on apart from working, being present, and exercising, and keeping busy. Yeah, right now I think it's a very important time in my career, my life. These next every year's important. I mean, it's never too late, or but I'm in that period of time where it's like, right, we need to get it. Let's get it right. Let's solidify things. Let's get everything into order, and then just go from there. Really
nice.
Yeah,
nice. Well, we're coming to the close, which is my favourite question.
Here we go.
Well, Zach, you know that the name of the Afters cast is the Afters cast. So we want to know your maddest Afters story, or one of, because I know you've got.
We're expecting a good one here, bro.
No.
You can take a second.
Yeah, it's hard this because we said this before. It's like at the afters you don't remember fuck all because you're so mashed up in it.
Yeah, like, exactly. You're there for 3 days, but when you leave, you just want to fucking run away as fast as possible. After story.
Oh, just mad parties or anything that's happened. We had Huxley say that he was baptised at a student afters.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Someone said he was a priest.
Very hard to talk.
It's not a competition, boys. This isn't a competition.
I mean, we used to do stupid shit at Dawn, for example.
Oh, I love Dawn.
Dawn was epic, man.
Downstairs from here.
Downstairs from here. That's why I'm going to say it. It's nothing crazy, but just stupid shit, just for entertainment. Like Dawn used to, in the smoking area, used to have like this jacuzzi. I don't even many people knew it was there. But it was just
where was it?
In the corner near the entrance.
I never ever
right,
saw it.
You came in on the right-hand side.
Right.
Just this empty pool of water.
Oh.
Yeah, like, it was never changed. It was never clean. But just being shitbags, obviously, as we were, and for some entertainment. Because in Dawn, I'm not sure if we just always fit in a smoking area.
Yeah.
We used to wait for BB to play that track or Left Wing and Cody to play that track that we knew that resonated with us. And we just run into to do a little dance, little shuffle, and fuck off. That was literally the routine every single time. We used to like all chip in and like, right, how much do we have to pay someone to jump in the jacuzzi? And literally every single Sunday, because I used to go every Sunday, it was church. I wasn't the orchestrator. I was definitely involved. And we used to just round up money. Sometimes you're getting like 100 quid, and there would just be this one guy in his denim jeans and his fucking polo t-shirt, like, fuck me.
Yes.
And every single week, someone would be bombing in that pool, in that jacuzzi.
That's fucking awesome.
That's gonna
great,
be.
huh?
That's min.
Yeah.
I wish I had the bollocks to take the money and be like, I'll fucking do it.
That's gonna be a hangower that way.
Yeah.
You know? Why the fuck am I all wet?
Yeah. You dry off quickly in Dawn anyway.
Yeah, you're 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Sweatbox.
Right, well, brother, thank you so much for
you,
coming down and sharing your story.
Appreciate it.
Excited to see how your journey plans out, as
Thanks
this is just the start.
It's been a pleasure. Big up to you guys for what you're doing. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, bro.
It's a very beautiful space to have an open conversation.
Yes, man.
Nice
appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Nice one.
Big up. Thank you, boys.
Nice one.